Hello, hello. We are back. We are back for another episode of You Can't Do That on Salesforce. Our Tuesday episode shall consist of the inefficient icon inventory. I don't know why I'm talking like this. This is ridiculous. Yeah, let's build some stuff. Let me get this thing on screen. Actually, peekaboo. There you are. All right, we are building more inefficient icon inventory funness. Do I want to update my Visual Studio later? Thank you. What are we working on today? We need a way to make a new icon because I don't know about you, but the same old icon is just not doing it for me anymore. So let's set this thing up so we can actually make a new one. Oh, and by what a perfect time because the Scratch org is dead. So it's time for us to make a new one of those anyway. We got no data. We're going to need to make some data. We're going to need to make a new icon anyway. So let's do that. I want to mess around with one thing real quick before I do this. It's kind of dark in here, and you know, my beard is rad and just not bright enough. Okay, it's like two beards right now. Let's fix that. Oh, perfect. This is how you groom your beard. Right here. Boom. There we go. All right. Let me just indulge me for 1 second if I can remember how the heck to turn this thing on. Do. What's this gonna do? Wah. All right, it's a little brighter, I guess. I don't know. I feel so much brighter now. Let's oh, that's getting a little carried away. Okay, yep, we're cooking our faces now. Let's go down. Let's try that. Maybe make it a little bluer. You guys can see a whole lot of reflection in my glasses. All right, let's see how this goes. Okay, Scratch org. As long as possible, please. I got a mic. Got a mic stand. You probably can't see it. It's hard to move. Oh, there it is. Oh, now you totally can't see it. That's all right. Probably not supposed to see it. Maybe it sounds better. I don't know. Also, we're streaming on YouTube now, as well as Twitch. So that's cool. Technology. We'll see how this works with the two of them. I'm using this app called Restream. And oh, and there we are. And you can hear me. Scratch org is alive. Let's fire it up. Sarah, you're absolutely right. Last time I did that, it deleted everything on my phone. So this was not nearly, turning on this light was not nearly as bad. Where'd you go, Scratch org? There you go. Okay. So what have we got in here? We have our, hopefully everything's still intact. You know what we need to do is get our, before we do anything, let's get this permission set that drives this whole thing assigned to somebody in this org. If I was a smart kid, I would have built a couple of scripts that, oh, you know what? This doesn't do anything if we don't push all of our stuff into the org. Drum roll. 20% of the time this works 20% of the time. No, it's better than that. Don't cut DX short. It knows what it's doing. It does exactly what it's told. That's the fun part. So if I'm missing any junk, then we got a problem. You guys like watching paint dry? It's almost as much fun as watching scratch orgs configure themselves. Hey, it ran. All right, now we should have the magic permission set. Maybe. There we go. The admin. Let's add this to my user. Maybe. I have a love-hate relationship with this new permission set UI. I feel like it does some things good and some things a little slower. Okay, now we're ready to rock and roll. There's our app. No icons. Perfect. We are right where we want to be. So if we all think back, we need to do a couple other things in this org too, since it's a scratch org. Looking all the way back, the data model for this is pretty, I don't know if it's straightforward. It's overly complicated, probably, but that's the way we like to do things around here. We have an icon, and I'll manually go through this. We'll make the world's most boringest icon. In fact, we'll call this boring icon. It's going to be 2 pixels wide and 2 pixels tall. Such high fidelity. Now, every icon has pixels associated with it. This is the thing we got to build today, because when I create an icon, I would really like the pixels to be created as well, because what I'm going to have to do next is just create 4 pixels for this icon. So the way we do this is you know what, we're going to need some colors too. Might as well do those while we're here also. We do grid left to right, top to bottom. So this would be 0, 0, and let's add a new color. Make that black, and let's make a new one. This is let's see, X 0 over, this is 0. This is 1, 0. Make this black also. Then let's go 0, 1. Let's add white. This is super fun, right? This is what we... Oh, I just made white black. Whoops. We'll fix. And this will be 1, 1. All right, let's go look at our colors, because I did something wrong there. Did I, or did I just mix them up? Well, this is not white. We're using hex colors here, in case you were wondering. And yes, we're storing the colors as their own objects, because why not? Okay, I got that one right. So hypothetically, now we should be able to look at a boring icon and get, hey, look at that. Cool. And we should be able to click these, change their colors, and do all the torturous stuff that we were doing with the streaming API last week, right? We added the hover event, which was a terrible idea because it just sucks the life out of the streaming API, and probably shouldn't do that. Or maybe, I think another thing on the backlog is maybe have it be more intentional. Like don't fire the event until you've been hovering over something for like a second. But we're going to deal with that later. I want to do what I just did manually, not so manually. And I think, let's think about size here, right? A 2x2 icon, that's not tough, right? That's only 4 pixels. That's 4 new records that we have to insert. Let's do some governor limit math, because I think we have a synchronous mode of this and an asynchronous mode, depending on the size of our the size of our icon. Also, they don't have to be squares. You know, I guess food for thought. We could. I don't know if we want to get too crazy with the shape of things, but I don't know. You could make a rectangle, right, or a circle, or any kind of field that you wanna have. Maybe we could even make like shapes, like knockout shapes. So like some pixels aren't really pixels. If a pixel's not a pixel, anyway. So let's see, math. Let's see if I have 5. This works fine when we have 4 pixels. This will not work as fine when we have, what's 512 by 512? So a 512 by 512 icon would be 262,000 pixels. Every pixel's a record in our app, because yeah, that's how we roll. So maybe that's too big. What if we do 256 by 256? That's 65,000, which still makes synchronous saving hard. Because I can do 50,000 in one shot. I don't think this is going to work. I don't think we can flow this. I don't think that's going to work because I think about 2,000 elements. Is that the limit in a flow? I feel like we're going to have to write us some code to make this work. So what if we did 128 by 128? All right, that's only 16,000. Let's start there. Let's say that the rule of thumb is we can make up to 128 by 128, and then we can scale it from there, of course, but I'm going to start there. And I'm going to still do my day job off to the side. Okay, fort is held down. We are good. All right. So if we're gonna make, let's also go with the rule that we're gonna well, a square is a rectangle. As long as we know the width of the pixels, or the pixel count, and the height of the pixel count from the icon, I should be able to save and then bump 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 do stuff. So that do stuff is, for now, going to be a trigger, and we'll do it in real time. In the future, maybe we can piggyback on that trigger as a service. I'm going to write it as a service anyway, just to separate things. But we'll write it so that we can hopefully call into it and say, when this saves, do stuff. Yeah, I'll just shut up and start writing. How's that sound? Okay. Good plan, great plan. So let's build, let's start with a service called icon service. All right, and we'll make a let's make a method in here that is create icon pixels. I guess we'll make it static. That is going to need to know the icon that it's dealing with. I probably should make this bulk friendly, right? That's really going to change. All right, I'm making this not bulk friendly. Nobody shoot. I'm unarmed. We're just going to do this the simple way to start, and then we will we'll figure out if we can make this. I think in order to make this bulk friendly, it's going to have to go into like asynchronous batch mode to generate all the records that need to be generated. And that's fine. We'll do that eventually. So, but for now, if I'm going to create icon pixels, let's use my simple 2x2 situation. So pretend this is the icon that I just created in the browser or in Salesforce here. What does it know? It knows its width and it knows its height. So I'm going to pass those in, and then it needs to know, I guess that's it. What we need is a list of pixels, because that's what we're going to populate this with. And I think I basically wrote this code over in LWC land, because the display of a pixel, I'm sorry, the display of an icon, we have to process the pixels over there as well. Let me see if I can find some code to steal, because as you can imagine, this is like a loop on a loop on a loop, or maybe just a loop on a loop. Too many loops. Yeah, so we have our pixel. So we need to query. No, we don't need to query anything. We're just creating here. When we get our icon, we query out some stuff so that we can know we want to go row by row. So row 1, columns 1 through whatever. Bonk, row 2, columns 1 through whatever. So we're gonna do the same thing in our code here. Let's have a couple of integer row equals 0, integer column equals 0, because we're doing everything 0 based here. And now we just need to loop through our icons' lengths and widths. So for integer r equals icon dot width. I'm sorry, integer r equals 0. R less than icon dot width. R plus plus. There's our row, and then let's do a column. C equals 0, C less than column height, C++. Was never very good at it in college. There we go. Honestly, I don't even think we need these. We can just use the iterators as for each value. So then our pixel, we're going to make a new pixel each time. Feel like maybe we want like a default color in our app on the colors, or we make that let's make that a field on the icon, right? So you could just default the color, make a lookup, right? That would be smart. We're doing smart things here. Let's add a color lookup called default color. Default pixel color? Should be very descriptive. Why not? So this will be a lookup to color. Default color. This is the color of the pixels when the icon is first created. Let's change this to like default color icons so we know what that means. We'll do this on the okay, got a new field. We have to add this to our permission set. Did I miss something that I thought that was like a new winter feature that you could? I bet you have to enable it. Or maybe it's here. Let's see. Set field level security. Isn't this a thing now? No. I thought that was a new winter thing that you could do the permission settings right from the field creation. Maybe not. We'll look it up later. I've been looking forward to that one because I do this permission set shenanigans with all my apps, and it's a bummer to have to do this loop-de-loop and go find the thing in the permission set. That was on the icon, right? Yep. Oh, we talked a lot last week too about the icon user. That's something to maintain the state of what's going on with an icon based on the user that's interacting with it. Yeah, so we could check for presence. I forgot about that. We'll add that to the backlog here. Oh, yep. Look, there it is. I already did. It's not that I forgot. It's just I didn't read it. Okay, so we've got an icon, a default color now. Should be on this layout. Yep. Let's pick. I'll pick white. Okay, so now we got that. So we can also have that for our in our icon service. So we're making a pixel, and our X is our row, so that's R. Our Y is our column, so that's C. And the color is the icon dot default color. And we're gonna, I guess we could go make this a little cleaner and just say pixels dot add. And we'll do that. All right, no guardrails for. Oh, you know what? We're doing DML. We're not doing a query. We're doing DML. So 128 by 128 is gonna. That ain't gonna work on 16,000. Let's go 64 by 64. I think that'll be. That's still pretty darn small, but we'll. We can start there. I'm not even putting the guardrails up right now on this. We're just gonna let it fly. But let's think for a moment. So I've got this here, and I've got all of my pixels, and then I'm just going to insert my pixels, and then I should have a whole bunch of pixels for my icon. One other thing I haven't tested is like, well, what's going to happen to the UI once we get 4,000 pixels out here? I think I'm going to turn off the hover event for sure, because that is going to just choke to death. But what's this going to do? We probably need to put this up on its own. Maybe put this up on its own row. And then the zoom is. There's not going to be a whole. We're not going to be able to zoom nearly as much. So this is going to introduce a whole bunch more fun for us to deal with. But for now. All right, so what's the right thing to do here? I feel like the proper fashion would be for me to make a flow that is record triggered, and then call this through like an invocable to get it to do what we need it to do from within the flow. That seems like what I should do. This is a pattern that I haven't run into in a little while, and I feel like there's probably a pretty elegant way. And I've got this service, so I can call it whenever I need to. Its duty is pretty isolated here. It's not going to have much kind of, what do you say, unit of work around it. It's just going to take an icon and blam, insert it. Not bulk friendly, like we said, but we need some way to kick this off. And if I'm not building a trigger and I'm trying to be good about using the platform, I probably should do this with a flow. So we're going to need an invocable in between here and there. Invocables are always kind of, it's difficult to organize them, I feel like, because you can only have one per class, so I'm going to end up with a whole bunch of different classes to call into. But so be it. For our purposes, we'll do some stuff. We'll make an invocable. First, we'll go into the org, and let's make a flow that responds to an icon being created. Record triggered. On the icon. Created or updated, I suppose. Although I think our length and width are required, so I don't know if we're ever going to end up with... Maybe just on create. We'll just do it on create for now. Even though they are required, I'm going to test that both of these are not null. This would be a good place for us to put some additional tests to make sure we're not blowing up the governor limits. Oh wait, is null false? Not true. Okay, we're going to do related records, because we're making pixels from our icon. Okay, and let's save that. Let's say icon. After insert, create pixels. I like to have a little bit of extra convention in my flow name so I can actually figure out what the heck they're doing. I used to be of the one, kind of in keeping with the one trigger to rule the object. I used to do one flow to rule the object, but now that you can define the sequence of execution for your trigger order for your flows, I don't do that anymore, because it's so much. Even though you end up with a lot of flow laying around, you certainly can have. Why didn't I save that? I'm such a dummy. Even though you end up with a lot of flow lying around, it's way more flexible. But I think if you're going to have a bunch of flow lying around, it's good to have some kind of naming convention that lets you know at a glance, not just whether or not it's record triggered, but like in what context is it triggered. Like if this ever updated, I would change this name. And I'm probably using insert instead of, I probably should be using create, but insert is like just trying to break old trigger naming habits. Okay, so we have a flow, a record trigger flow on the icon, maybe if this ever saves, that does nothing right now, and that's not super helpful. So let's go back to our code and let's make that invocable. Why won't this save? That's weird. I'm totally not looking up the syntax for Apex invocables off screen, because I obviously know that like right off the top of my head. I mean, who doesn't, right? I use them just enough to forget how to forget them. Dude, come on, save. What's going on? Okay, let's see. So we're going to pass in... Hey, it can't run because there's nothing connected to it. Yep. True. All right, let's make our invocable here. I want to call that icon, create icon pixels in vocable. Sure. Sometimes I'm going to finish that Flapex library and this will all be better, but until then, you see that hint that I just dropped there? Yet another project to work on here. Okay, we need an invocable method here. We need to do the good old-fashioned request and result thing. Actually, maybe not. Maybe I just need to pass in a list of... Let's pass in a list of icons. I'm just going to fire and forget this thing because I don't think we have anything we need to do in the code or in the flow after this runs. Let's call this execute. And we're just going to loop through again, not bulk friendly. Feel free to throw tomatoes in my direction. We're just going to call into our icon service. There we have it. Okay. Let's refresh this, and hopefully we've got something we can call into. What did we just call that? Pixel? Create pixels. I suppose we probably should, maybe since this isn't really bulk friendly, I'm gonna cancel that and let's just make this an icon that we pass in. See, this is, I wish you could have multiple invocable methods in a class, and then B, I just want to invoke this, right? And I don't think you're... Only one method in a class can have the invocable method annotation. Bleh. Blah, 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 blah. Just messy. Oh well. I'll get over it. All right, so we're just going to pass in one icon. All right, so we'll do that. Pass in the record that started the whole thing, and then... Oops. What are you complaining about? Unsupported parameter type icon. Oh wait, no, it does have to be a list, right? It's always got to be a list. Right. Yeah, we can't do that. Oops. I forgot. I guess I could make it the request. No, but even then, it's still got to be a list. So all we're doing is passing in the icon. So we'll just do this. That's fine. Refresh you again. And do over. Is this going to work if I'm just passing in just a single record? Let's find out. If not, I'll throw it in a collection, I guess, and then pass it in. This is heckin' slow, man. Come on. It's not my bandwidth this time, I swear. That was last week. This is comical. Come on now. Hey, there we go. All right, let's let's fire it up, and we'll see how this. Hopefully, activating doesn't take as long as saving. Okay. Let's make a new icon. We have boring icon, and we'll call this one better icon. If Salesforce will let us. Wow. Don't make me check trust. I'll do it. I'm doing it. No ongoing incidents. Okay, you're just slow. Better icon. Now, what did we say? 64 by 64. That was our limit. I'm just gonna go a little. I'm gonna go easy on it. Let's do 16 by 16, and the default color is black. And I'm gonna open up a. Let's open up a dev console and just see what's cooking here when we do this. Ready, go. Whew. I feel like this shouldn't take this long. For comparison, I'll run this straight up against Apex and hit the service directly. Maybe there's something funky going on with Flow. Just the fact that took so long to run, or maybe I did something dumb in my service call. Let's see here. Here comes our icon. Define our pixels. We go from 0 over to the width. Do the columns. Do left to right. And do it again. And we just add the pixels the whole time. I don't think there's anything off with this, but wow, this is not working. Obviously. Let's try something else. Let's hit the. I'll do this right inside of Apex here. Just write a little script that we can call icon I equals. We hit a snag. Time limit exceeded. All right, either I've got something real dumb going on in here. Do I dare open this log? 17 megs. I should have downloaded that. It's not that we're definitely incrementing, right? Oh wait. Well, that'll never work. There's your problem. Never mind. I do not want to. I take it back. I do not want to download the 17 megabyte debug log. I was trying to loop over R when I should have been looping over C. Just one letter off, kids. All right, let's try that again. Hopefully it'll go a whole lot faster now. Like blindingly fast. We'll just use the same one. I think my code's updated. Go. Oh, required field. Well, yeah, duh. We got to put the icon in here. That would help. Whew, I'm good at this stuff, man. What can I say? All right. Okay. Now we actually relate the pixels to an icon, which that will help a lot. And let's do this again. Still taking a little longer than I want it to. We missing something else here? R is the width. C is the height. Or the columns, right? So the width is rows, the height is columns. We're looping. We're putting them in the pixels. Yeah, what is going on? Let's see what it blows up with this time. $16 by 16, that's only like what? It's 256 records. That's not a lot. But what is blowing up this time? Seems really weird. Okay. I assume we've got 256 pixels here. Not sure why you took quite as long as you did. Maybe we'll make another one and we'll see how it does. But that was weird. Anyway, we got them. Let's go back to our icon here. So here's better icon. Ooh. Before we choke this thing to death, let's just gonna update. Let's take these events off of the component, the LWC, because those will be bad. that'll be a whole lot of platform eventing going on. We don't want that. All right, now let's refresh this. All right, all black icon. Oops. Zoom out a little bit. I should. Starry Night. Yeah. Look at that. Nice. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah. Let's get that back down to regular size. That's great. Yeah. Really like that. Did it actually save? It did. By the power of Grayskull. I'm going to make the top row white because I don't know, why not? Okay. So we can make... That was super slow though. I didn't like that at all. Let's make another one, see how we do. I'm just going to delete better icon here. Goodbye. Hope it doesn't take that long to delete. 200 records. Something seems up. There it goes. All right, I'm going to make another one. How big's 32 by 32? Think we can get away with that? No. Let's test. Let's test apples to apples here. Is it choking just because, you know, it might be choking just because the maybe because I have the log panel up. That could be. Let's clear you, and I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, this is better icon too. We'll go 16 by 16 again. Make the default color white this time, because why not? And save. That's better. It had to have been the whatchamacallit, the debug console or the dev console. Beep boop 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 boop. Good. Refresh. Good, got it. Delete it. Let's make a bigger one. 32 by 32 is what? 32 times 32. 1024. That's a bigger one. Let's try it. 32 by 32 icon. We'll call it something useful. Okay. 4096. Ready? Is that right? 32 times 32? No, 1024. 1024, sorry. Ready, go. Not bad, not bad. Now let's see. Pixels are getting smaller. Starry Night version 2. It's pretty responsive. Pulling 1,000 records through. Yeah, not bad. All right, let's make a bigger one. We'll call this one 64 by 64. I think this is kind of the limit. Because this will be... Wait, what did we determine? 64 by 64. That's 4096. I think 128 by 128 is too... Yeah, that's going to be too much. We're trying to stay within the sync time. What would be the max? What's the square root of 10,000? 100? Yeah. So we could do 100 by 100, but I think that's probably pushing it. Maybe like 96 by 96. But for now, let's see what 64 does to us. And go. A little longer. But survived. Oh shoot. I wanted to see this page refresh. I want to see how long it takes for us to get Not bad. Good job, LWC. You're a zippy guy. Oop, that's too much. I really got to fix that zoom situation. All right, the pixels, they are getting smaller. But still working. Refresh. Make sure we got all our stuff still. And we do. Okay. So that was 64. I'm going to make one more that's 96 by 96. And then I'll talk to myself about how we might do this asynchronously. So we could have bigger icons. Okay, 96 by 96. That's going to give us 9,216. Let's see how we do. Go. That's pushing the 10,000 limit. Which is fine if it works. It worked. Okay, that took a hot second for the LWC to render. The other implication is, oh no, it's pretty good still. Maybe it's cached. The other implication here is, as this gets bigger, you know, can the LWC continue to scale as well in terms of querying out? I don't usually. It tends to not be best practice to have to build an LWC that queries thousands or tens or thousands or maybe in our near future hundreds of thousands of records. So I haven't run into this a lot. I mean, we're under the 10,000 threshold, so it seems to be fine. There's no like query more situation that we're running into. But I would think that if we got real big, we might have to like start querying out by like address. Like if you had an icon that was, well, that's actually an interesting idea. All right, so let's talk about two things at the same time because that's how my brain works. I could see a future if we were doing this async, like if we had a 1024 by 1024 pix or icon that we were working on. I certainly can't insert that many icons at once or pixels at once, but I could insert 1,000 rows, so 1,000 pixels at a time. I could do that, or even a bigger number to keep the. I'm thinking about batch, right? So if I wanted to create an icon asynchronously that was bigger, or synchronously for that matter, I mean, who cares? I could say, all right, save this icon, and it's 1024 by 1024, and have a batch that gets summoned with the icon in question, and the thing that it's going to iterate over. I think we could create that. Could we create that in the start context, the start method of the batch? I know how much stuff I need to make. And if I had a list of lists of pixels, I could generate all that in the start context and then use that list to iterate over. That sounds good to me, right? Maybe. Maybe that's the direction we have to go with that. But first, we have our... Yeah, we are starting to get a little... There's a little bit of a delay from when we click zoom to when we actually zoom. This obviously is going to look totally wrong there. Again, pixels are smaller. We're throwing a platform event every time we click one of these. So hypothetically, someone else who was watching this on their side would see these pixels getting colored. Refresh. And there we go. Okay, so we're good up to 96 by 96. Or any other rectangular dimensions thereof. Cool. Now, you know, building a bigger icon. Would be the next thing we probably want to figure out here. Yeah, because we'll save let's save icon users for another day. Just for fun, let's take a look at our data consumption. Let's see. Use data. We've used 14% of our data. Scratchworks don't give you a whole lot. 28 megabytes of pixels. There you go. 28 megabytes. 14% of our storage is in pixels. But it's fun. That's what we do on the show. We make dumb stuff, you know. And I don't know, the dumb stuff kind of turns into cool stuff at some point. You know what would be cool? Speaking of cool, it would be cool if we could pick the color that we want to paint our pixels with. Maybe add a few more colors. That might be neat. We're gonna add speaking of records, let's add 256 colors to the to our is that right? 256? How do we do 256? RGB. I guess if you let's see, you did 000000 all the way up to FFFFFF. That might be, was it 216? I think those are like the OG web safe colors. I think we can just blam a script to make those for us. They probably have names too. We won't get into that, but we can write that script real quick, and that'll generate our colors for us. White and black, I guess, have names. What we could do since we don't have the name, we can probably just use the hex value for the names. So why don't we do that? It's just another script, kind of like what we wrote from here, and then we'll have a bunch of colors, and then we can tidy up the UI of our icon builder here a little bit, make it look a little less chumpy with the zooms here, and let's do all of that in like 2 minutes. I'm gonna go grab a drink and come back, and we'll do the second hour of the show here in just a moment. And we're back. And in the 97 seconds that I went to get a Spindrift, not sponsored, I was thinking maybe we don't need all of the colors. Maybe the user can say what color they want to use, and maybe they just get added as they get chosen. So we don't really even have to like build up a color palette. I could just say like, oh, let me use CC3333, and I don't know what the name of that is, but I can see that it's a color that it's a valid hex color. So yeah, talking myself into stuff here. Let's do that. So over here in our icon display component, we need some way to pick, tell this component that, yo, we want to use another color, which I think would just be, we need some UX love from on this component, but I'm going to just keep adding junky stuff in the meantime. There's not a color picker in the LWC component library, is there? Before we get carried away here. No. Dope. But maybe we can make something a little bit nicer looking here. What if we did, can we do a group of some sort so that I can maybe put each color in its own button? Maybe to start too, let's put these buttons at the top in a button group so they don't look completely hideous. That is Aura, not LWC. Naughty. Lightning button group. There, that might look a little bit tidier. Oh, and then we could probably well, heck, we could make these icon buttons, right? And then we can find like a zoom in and a zoom out. Let's find some icons. Utility zoom in, utility zoom out. Of course, I need to go all the way back to my button icon here. We'll set the alternative text on each of these. I don't think we need titles anymore, right? No, we need the icon name. We probably also want some kind of grid, because that button is supposed to show you. It toggles a grid on the icons. Yeah, let's use that. Now I'm getting picky. The bird agrees. There's a chicken over there. They are talking. What's a good... table one wasn't too bad. Was there a grid? Gridded. Let's just use this. We'll use apps. All right, how'd we do? Probably need to... What are the variants on a button icon? I forget. Oh, we missed something. Closing tags. How'd we do? Oops. Well, that didn't work. Oh, because we have no variant. Is variant required? Oops. Let's look at the different variants. Border, bear, brand. I like border filled. Let's go with that. You know, I know why these aren't working, because I didn't put utility in front of the utility colon in front of the names. Try again. Oop. Should look better now. Oops. Except for those syntax errors. We're never going to get this right. There we go. Grid goes on, grid goes off. Okay, that looks a little bit nicer. I don't know why it... Gotta figure out why it kind of blacks out or doesn't display when you click on it. But, click too many times. Okay. All right, that's a little nicer. The grid is not super effective when you've only got two colors to pick from. The grid is black, and throws another pixel in everywhere. So that's what's kind of throwing that. Actually, it doesn't add a pixel. It just I think it only adds a pixel to the right and bottom edge. It just takes over a pixel with a border inside, so it doesn't get enormous when the grid is on. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's figure out some color picking. Can you put? I'm gonna guess you can't, right? You probably can't put a input field in a button group without messing stuff up. It'd be nice if it just kind of tucked in right here with the color. We could put it in there. I don't know, let's try it. Let's see what... Just gonna grab an input and drop it in there and see what happens. Well, it's there. It doesn't look great. I guess I can probably set the variant to label hidden, right? Come on. Refresh. Jeez, did I bust up? Did I bust things up so bad that it can't render that now? Maybe. No. Okay, maybe it really did just not like that whatsoever. Seems weird that it would flake out about that just by not having the label on there. But anyway, we can keep it. Well, we'll keep it ugly for the moment. What I really want to do is just allow the user to type in whatever hex color they want to use, and it will. Seriously, what is going on? It'll put it in there for us. All right, I'm just going to take this out completely because I don't understand what the deal is here. I'm going to try to click somewhere else and just go anywhere in this org. Or maybe just kill that tab and we'll start over. I don't understand what is going on. I'm going to peel these other tabs out of here. Seriously, what's the deal? Come on, Salesforce. You're not rendering anything for me right now. Okay, this is nuts. I'm going to pop open the Scratch org again. What is going on? Nothing's working. This is going to be a short stream if nothing's working. Really? What? Like, I mean, I could understand if I like broke my component or something, but I don't think it should break the whole org, is in my opinion. What do y'all think? Probably not, huh? Does this work? Nothing's working. Do I have a console open? I don't think I do. Oh, hey. Oh. And we're back. Okay, what in the world? All right, let's try, at the risk of blowing up the entire platform again, let's try to put that back in there. I just need a field to put a value. There we go. Okay, back to ugly. So, what do we want to do here? We want to, when this changes, this is set color. All right, and let's make a toggle grid, zoom in, zoom out, set color. Now, what are we doing with color currently? We get the value. So value is our actual color. We need a way to set a pixel color when we don't have a color defined, right? So it would be nice if we had like another field on the pixel that could take the color value and then convert it into a color for us when it is, I guess, evaluate if that color exists, and if not, then insert a color. Yeah. Because then we can just do, let's see. When I set, I'm going to call it set pixel click color. It might be a little more descriptive. Yep, okay, so pixel click color, and then I probably want something like pixel click color. We'll default it to black for now. And then if I want to change, so we can fill that in, set the value of this. right? Set that, and then when we do a let's see, I need to get the if the new color is all right, we need to do some work on the validation of this because if the new color is like 2 letters, we probably need to fill in. Really, if it's less than 6, we need to fill it in with like zeros afterwards. So, but for now, the new color is detail.value. I gotta check that. I'm gonna have to debug that and see because I just want whatever they typed. And we'll set this to that new value. And then when we set that, we will, when we click on where is the click event? Pixel click. Here we're just toggling. So instead we want to just replace the color. So we have this find color by value thing that might be a good place to, let's see, find color by value. I think that calls out to, oh no, it doesn't. It just looks in our colors and tries to find what we have. If we don't find the color, then that's okay. We'll just use we'll use the value that we're dealing with in a different way. So I'm going to add a field to pixel that lets us pass in a color. Because I have a lookup to the color, but if I'm saying use periwinkle blue and I don't have periwinkle blue in the color inventory, I'm gonna pass in color value. So we'll make that new field. All right. It should never be more than. So we can pass that value temporarily, and then it will we'll add a flow that does a record event to see if that value has been provided. And if it has, then it will create a actual color record for us and return that. So this is a permission set. Maybe. Oh man, I've got a shirt. I've got a you can't do that on Salesforce shirt, and I forgot to wear it today. I will wear it tomorrow. I will wonder why this permission set does not want to load. There it is. We're looking at the pixel object. Here we go. Okay, so color value will be a temporary field that we can pass if we don't have a color in our catalog yet. Makes life a little bit easier than us having to shove every color ever into the catalog, but there's a little extra work to do here, right? So if find color by value will return null, or I think undefined, right? What is a find? JavaScript find return. Returns the first element or undefined. Okay, so if here, if color record is undefined, then we're going to set, let's do this. Let's create, let's let updated record equal the thing we're passing in, and then we can do a little bit more work out here to it. Okay, so if record is undefined, then we're going to set updated record dot fields dot color value equal to color. Well, let's see here. When we pixel click, right? When we click on a pixel, what we want to do now is we want to use the color. We want to use our whatever color. What do we call that? Our pixel click color. So we don't really care what color it is anymore. Or I shouldn't say we don't care. We still want to set that. Actually, we don't. No, we do set that in the next step. Okay. So we don't need to do this anymore. We don't need to evaluate the color because all we were doing that for was to just swap between black and white. Now we want to pass in this dot pixel click color, right? This set pixel click style, that just does this. So we actually, we don't need this anymore because we're being good and actually setting the styles independently. All right, so there's all that. That's just our hover. We're not doing anything with that right now. So we don't need to evaluate this. We can just use our pixel click color to set the style, and then also let's try to find that color. And if we don't have that color, then that's okay. We'll set so our updated record doesn't have much going on right now. If the color record that we looked for up here is undefined, we're going to use the color value field. Otherwise, we'll do what we were doing before and actually set the color to the color record. And then we can update. Let's see. We call this update record. Let's call this updated. Oops. Updated record. We're going to update the updated record. And we wrote out some stuff. Okay. Now, the only thing this doesn't do is kind of reconcile. If we add a new color to our catalog, we also query out all of the colors to do this lookup. I feel like that might not make sense anymore. It might make more sense to maybe show colors that have been created or used recently. Or you could just type one in. Or we can start producing a palette. You know, I think there's some options here. But for now, let's see how we did with this. So we're not doing really any validation on. First thing I have to do is make sure I'm actually getting the value in. Where are you? This really shouldn't be called set pixel click color. This should be well, I think let's just go with it. Let's test this out. Okay. Let's get our browser open, do a quick debug, make sure we're getting what we expect from this. Uh-oh. It's doing the thing again. Make it stop. Oh, come on now. This is super weird. Just want my stuff to show up. I think last time I clicked to another app and then came back and it was kind of okay. Like, I don't think we're really doing anything to mess with this. That's what's super weird. Okay, this is crazy. We're gonna open it up again. I don't understand. Wow, I really don't get it. I don't know what's going on here. Let's let me open up a. Let me see if I can refresh the cache. Something. What did we do? What did we do last time to make this suddenly start working? I'm not crazy, am I? Like this is not normal. Super weird. Okay, there. Now we're back again. Huh. Hope this doesn't keep up. All right, so let's see. We defaulted to black. We just want to. I just want to make sure that this value is coming through and what it comes through looking like. Oh, you know what? This is a new org. I gotta go turn on the debugger for lightning. Not that that should have had anything to do with anything. Maybe it did. Hopefully it doesn't get worse now. Okay. Let's see. Icon display. I'm looking at this. Sorry. Do 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 do. Set pixel click color. Okay, yep, detail that value. So I don't think hash F is going to be a great color. Maybe it is. Maybe hex fills it in for you, but we don't really want that. So I think if we can evaluate if the we probably want to see if it doesn't have a well, there's probably a useful regular expression that will check for this. I wonder if we just look that up, right? Regex hex color. Identify if a given string is hexadecimal. Okay, so test regex JavaScript. Okay, cool. So we've got a regex here that will tell us if we have a valid hexadecimal value. So okay. I don't do a lot of regex, so let's go shamelessly steal our stuff, and then so our regular expression is according to I'm going to test this actually over in I just realized I'm running this off screen, so I'm testing this regex that I found courtesy of where else but Stack Exchange, and then I want to see if we test this, is it working as we expected? So that looks like a valid value. This should evaluate it, and that was good. Now if I take off a 0, it is false. If I take off the thing at the front, it is false. If we do this, it is false. Okay, so cool. We can do this and check our value. I'm just going to try to keep it, real simple for right now. There's some cleanup we could do to the like if it's missing the thing at the front, we could probably add it just to tidy up a little bit. But we're going to say if regex.test new color, then we'll make our pixel color, pixel click color, that value. I think what we could also do is maybe have put something next to the actually, you know what we could do? Could we color the we could change the color of the you change the color of the font that we're using using as the color. Let's try that. We just have to find the element that kicked this off, which I think that's e.detail. So can we just say e.detail.color? I probably have to query select it. I doubt this is going to work, but let's try it. Okay, so we're getting the value. We're checking for the regular expression to make sure it's a valid. What should we call it? a valid hex value, and if it is, we'll use it, and hopefully we'll be able to set the color of our component. We shall see. We shall see. New color, F. Do we pass? New. Okay. FF. Still not passing. That's good. O. So that is a valid. I think that's the same as FFFFOO, right? Let's see. Hex. Yeah, that's yellow, which is the same as, oops, which is the same as FFFFOO. Yep. Right. So, yep. So if you have 3, values in your hex color, and any of the values are F, well, whatever, 0, 3, anything, 0 through F, then it will treat it as it being doubled up, which I think is okay, but I really want the I think I really want the full value, just so we're not confusing ourselves. So let's say we want the test to be true, and new color dot length is 7. Right, that would be the full hex value. So we'll use that instead. Hopefully I did that right. Okay. Okay, try again. F, F, O. Okay, still not passing. O, O, O. All right, so e.detail, I think, yeah, that's not, e.detail is right. We need, can I, well, let's try this. Can I, if I just do a template, a query selector against that, against e.detail, does it work? What else is in E? Source element? That's probably what we want. Style. Yeah, source element dot style dot color is, I think that's what we want. Let's try that. We'll do something a little nicer with the color. We need some way to indicate, like, hey, this is the color that's chosen. All right, hey. Totally illegible, but why not? All right, so we got something going there. So instead of changing the color here, maybe we put something, at the end that shows us what our actual color is. But now we should be able to, I want to use a brighter color. All right, we're setting red pixels. Now, these will not be set correctly. I don't even know if these are being sent to the browser or to the server. Let's look at our dev tools and see if anything's coming back. This pixel color updated, so we are setting the field, but I doubt when I refresh this that we're going to get the color that we're expecting. Yeah. Oops. Let me put like 3 right in a row. Well, that was black, so. Right, we'll go in these first 3 up here. And then if we refresh this, there's nothing actually creating those colors for us yet. So we're not going to, yeah, they're not even being, they're coming back, but I don't think they're being set with anything. Let's take a look. Let's look at our dev console, and let's query out the pixels, that were last modified, I guess. Right? select ID from pixel, pixel, where last modified date, or just order by, right? Just show me a few here. Right, let's open up one of these. So we got our color value, but it still thinks the color is black. So we didn't update this. Okay, so we need a, I think we can do that on, let's do that on a flow. We want a record triggered flow to figure out if we have a color, and if not, let's make one and associate it with the record in question. So we'll do this on pixel, created or updated, I think. And we want to say if color value is changed. Or maybe we say color value yeah, really, we should see if it's changed, right? If it's changed and it's not null, maybe we don't need this. Maybe we just need to say if color value is not null, then do the thing, right? And we're going to do that. I suppose we can do that after. Feels like we could do this async, right? But we don't want to do it async because we want to update the value. Maybe we want to do it async. For now, let's do it synchronous, and then we'll see if we want to change that. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I think I am. Yeah, that was a good one. Okay. All right, so the pixel's coming in, and its color value has changed. So the first thing we want to do is let's see if we can find a color record. So we're looking for a color whose value equals this record's color value. We just want the first record. And let's make a decision if it was found. Color found, yes. Find color record is null, false. So if we find it, that's easy path. We update the actually, let's hold on that, because if the let's see. No, it doesn't. Let's see. If the color is found, then let's update the triggering record. Update color lookup. We'll use the pixel record that triggered the flow, and we'll set color equal to find color. Okay. If it's not found, we're going to insert a new color. just one record. So we'll put in a color, and we'll make the name, I'm going to make the name equal to the color value, because we don't know what it's called otherwise. And we'll make the value also equal to the color value. Okay. And then we'll update our color, or update our update color lookup 2. Okay. So this is pixel after insert or update. Populate color lookup. All right, let's activate this and see. Let's see how we do. I've got a pixel here that we can probably test this with. Let's change this to 009900. Oh, it didn't work. Let's see. Let's check our conditions here. Created or updated, color value is... Oh wait, no, we really do need to, we do need to do is changed here, yeah. Right, and then we have to, so we do have to evaluate each time. Yep. Save this, and we'll test this one more time. And then we gotta go, it's 6 o'clock. All right, so that's activated. Let's go check out our pixel one more time. If we get this right, we should get a new color. And we did. Neat. And now we should have one pixel in our icon that is blue. Do we? We do. We got a blue one. All right. Success. So what do we do today? Today we built an automation with some Apex code and a flow and an invocable to create a new pixel. I'm sorry, create a new icon with up to 4,000 pixels, 96 by 96. The biggest size is what we've got up on screen here. That does it in real time. We talked about maybe doing some async batch stuff around that with really big icons, maybe for another day. We tidied up the UI a little bit and probably made it uglier in the process, but now you can toggle the grid, zoom in and zoom out with some icons instead of some dumpy looking buttons. We have a function that allows you to pick a color, so 009900, and when you update that color, you will then set pixels with that color. And then hopefully, if I refresh this, we've got a bunch of green pixels in here. Let's see how we did. We should also have a color that's that green now as well. And we do. Look at that. We've got green pixels, ladies and gentlemen. All right, super cool. I'm done. 6 o'clock. Not a bad, not a bad, not a bad evening's effort in the inefficient icon inventory. We'll play with this some more again next time. Maybe figure out some of that user icon state presence stuff, and just generally figure out how to make our zoom look better than it does when it goes like this. Blech. We don't want to do that. I'm Tom. This is You Can't Do That on Salesforce. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you